Failure for me isn't a destination. It isn't a stop sign. It doesn't define me. A failure is just that and nothing more. Something that didn't work out in the moment. But what's beautiful about them is that they are laced with lessons, growth opportunities. And if you allow them to work for you, they open you up to be stronger, wiser, and far more capable than you were before. In a growth mindset, you say, I failed. And when you say that, you're not believing that you are a failure, but rather that you failed in that moment and analyze it to see how you can make it work for you in building a better future. Welcome to Becoming Tantalum with me, Megan Bonnell. Discover your brightest self in a journey of transformation and resilience. Let's embark on this path together, starting now. Welcome back to Becoming Tantalum, the podcast where we are diving deep into a journey of life transformation. So I'm your host, Megan Bonnell, and I am so excited to talk to you about mindset today. Don't go away. I know that's like a hot button topic, however you say that. This is the second episode in our series that's focused on resilience. So we're going to go into the crucial aspect today of the power of a growth mindset. But before we go into that, I want to go on a little rant. Rant might not be the right word. Maybe it's just a splash of my purpose and motivation. So why I do what I do. And today I want to give you two reasons. There's a lot, but maybe I'll just slow roll this out to you. So first, one reason that I'm a life coach and why I do what I do is because life is hard. But I believe, and evidence backs up this opinion, that you can choose your hard. And I could give you a multitude of examples of this, but just to illustrate the point, one example would be you could have hard times in failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship, or you can have the hard of analyzing what's important to you, figuring out the exact type of relationship that you want to have, doing the work to become an amazing partner in that type of relationship that you want to have, and being willing to work through the hard in those relationships when you find them. Another example, you can have the hard of living a life on repeat that you aren't loving. Or you can have the hard of purposefully and intentionally going on a journey to create the life that you love. The truth is, life is hard, but you get to choose your hard. And I love helping people with that. That's one reason why I do what I do. The second that I'm going to share with you today is that life is 50-50. And I know that we've talked about this before. Life is about 50% good and 50% not so good. But the truth is, you get to decide what you focus on and what defines you and what you surround yourself with on your journey. And a sad fact, I read this somewhere the other day and there wasn't an author with it. It was just a quote, but so many people die at age 18, but they're not buried until they're 80. I'll say that again. So many people die at 18, but they're not buried until they're 80. What that means is they gave up on all their hopes and their dreams and settled into a life they don't love as soon as they got those responsibilities, as soon as life kind of settled down. And they just lived that until they were buried. And I just absolutely have a heart broken for those people because I know and have proved that yesterday is not who you are and that you don't have to be that person tomorrow. And I love helping people with that. That is why I do what I do. So why do I feel the need to share that with you right now? What does that have to do with mindset and resilience? You know, what we're talking about today. Everything. Your brain is the most powerful tool that you have in your life. And everything that you need to make your life amazing, you already have in there. So when I see a person struggling through a life that they feel stuck in, I want more than anything to get in their head and teach them how to blow their own damn mind with what's possible now and in their future. Because life is hard, but you get to choose your hard. Your mindset determines that. And life is 50-50. but you get to choose which 50 influences you, shapes you, and determines your future. Your mindset determines that. Mindset is the filter through which everything is either possible or impossible. And you, only you, get to determine your mindset. And that is what we're focusing on today. So, in our journey to become the strongest, most resilient versions of ourselves, our mindset plays a foundational role. It's like the soil in which the seeds of our efforts and our dreams are planted. And in a rich, nurturing soil, that allows growth and expansion to live. Whereas a restriction and a poor soil is going to stifle and even stop completely your growth. That's the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. I'm sure that you've heard these terms before. They became popular about 2 decades ago. So let's talk about where this whole concept came from. And you know me, I'm a science nerd. Let's talk a little bit about the science behind it. So the concept of growth mindset was first introduced by a Stanford University psychologist, Carol Dweck, in 2020. It wasn't just her research that supported the idea. It's been supported by various studies across psychology as well as neuroscience. But all of that is illustrating the significant impact that your mindset can have on learning and resilience and overall personal development. So there's some key findings of scientific research that supported this idea. And they've come from a ton of different research studies, but I just pulled like a handful of the main ones. And in that handful, over 300,000 people were a part of those studies. So a ton of people. There's a lot of research that's gone into this. So some key findings scientifically that backs up this idea. First of all, neuroscience research supports the idea that the brain is malleable or capable of neuroplasticity. So that aligns with the idea of a growth mindset. What that means is that studies have shown that your brain can form new connections and new pathways and even create new neurons. Those are the cells that are in your brain in response to learning and experience. So your brain is still developing, constantly developing. That demonstrates that your abilities and your intelligence can be developed over time, which is the core idea of the growth mindset. Another thing that these studies have shown is that it has a massive impact on academic achievement. So, Dweck did most of the research on this, but she demonstrated that students that adopted a growth mindset were more likely to embrace challenges and persist in the face of setbacks and achieve higher levels of academic success, which we'll talk about why in just a minute. But they viewed efforts on their pathway to mastery as a requirement rather than a sign of unintelligence. So that motivated them to engage more deeply with their learning because they just saw it as a necessity to that mastery. Another thing is enhanced motivation and performance. So, studies have shown that teaching the idea of growth mindset can lead to improvements in the motivation, effort, and performance. So, in one specific study, students were taught that intelligence could be developed rather than just assuming that they are as intelligent as they're going to be. And in those, they had shown a clear increase in motivation and math grades, right? How many of you say, like, I just can't do math? A lot of people feel that way, but when they were taught about the growth mindset, it improved their willingness and ability to learn and in the end, their results. So, any students that were not given that intervention, not taught about growth mindset, there was not that increase. Research also has indicated that a growth mindset can contribute to resilience in the face of stress and challenges. There were 2 researchers that worked together. Dweck was one of them, and then Mueller was another. And they showed that praising children for their effort rather than their intelligence encouraged them to adopt that growth mindset. And that in turn made them more resilient when they were faced with difficult problems because you're encouraging their effort. They were more likely to persist and they showed higher levels of resilience. And then finally, they saw an increase in adaptability and openness to feedback. A growth mindset is going to foster a more positive reaction to feedback, seeing it as an opportunity for learning and improvement rather than a personal attack. So many of us, I feel, think of feedback that way as a personal attack. But having that adaptability and openness to feedback is crucial for any of your personal or professional development. So, these studies and a ton more like them really underscore the importance of adopting a growth mindset for enhancing learning, fostering resilience, and improving your academic and professional outcomes, and supporting your personal development. So we're spanning all areas: personal, academic, professional. It benefits you in every aspect of your life. The body of evidence, this whole scientific body of evidence, suggests that with a growth mindset, you're better equipped to face challenges, learn from your experiences, and achieve your full potential. I'm in. So while Carol Dweck was given most of the credit for this research, there were other researchers, but she dove so deep into the idea of growth mindset and did studies specifically on that. And so succinctly introduced the concept and explained how our beliefs about our own abilities and potential can profoundly affect our lives. If you're interested in learning more about it, that's probably where you want to start, is with Carol Dweck. So that's the science behind it. But what exactly is a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset? Great question. So glad you asked. A fixed mindset holds that our talents and our abilities and intelligence are static traits, meaning they don't change, they don't grow. So you either have them or you don't. And what that does is create a need for you to prove yourself over and over. It causes you to view failure as a threat to who you are. That's not leaving any room for improvement, for change, or viewing anything as any shade besides black and white. And my friends, you are worth so much more than that. You're an amazing individual that has the ability to constantly grow and change and set off on a journey that will surpass your wildest dreams. That is where growth mindset comes into play. So a growth mindset thrives on challenges and sees failure not as evidence of unintelligence, but just as a springboard for growth and for stretching your existing abilities. It's about believing that your most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and through hard work, that brains and talent are just the starting point. You're just at the starting point. There's so much more that you can have, so much further you can go. And that opens up a world of possibilities for you. That's what allows you to stand tall and stand strong and be resilient, even in the toughest of circumstances. And that is a choice. That mindset is available to everyone. Yes, even you. So why is this so important with resilience, right? Because that's what this month is all about, is resilience. Because at the heart of resilience is our capacity to face setbacks, to learn from them, and to come back even stronger. And that's where the growth mindset becomes an ally on our journey of resilience, because it's exactly what you need. So imagine facing a setback. Okay, you can even think of a specific one if you'd like. With a fixed mindset, you might tell yourself, I've failed. I'm a failure. And that narrative locks you into a state of inaction and maybe even despair, right? You're not moving on from that. But with a growth mindset, the narrative shifts to, I failed, but I can learn and grow from this experience. And you see, that's a subtle but powerful shift that opens up a pathway of being resilient. So let's just take a moment to talk about failure, because I actually love talking about failure. So this is something that so many people have a fear of. We're taught from a very young age that we need to do our best and avoid at all cost to fail. I mean, we are that's ingrained in us from a very young age. But I disagree. And in fact, I disagree so much that I keep a fail folder. You heard that correctly. I keep a paper fail folder. And every month I have a fail quota. And if I don't meet that number of fails, then I know that I wasn't pushing myself hard enough, far enough, or asking enough of myself. Because failure for me isn't a destination. It isn't a stop sign. It doesn't define me. A failure is just that and nothing more. Something that didn't work out in the moment. But what's beautiful about them is that they are laced with lessons, growth opportunities. And if you allow them to work for you, they open you up to be stronger, wiser, and far more capable than you were before. In a growth mindset, you say, I failed. And when you say that, you're not believing that you are a failure, but rather that you failed in that moment, and analyze it to see how you can make it work for you in building a better future. So we're all going to fail, like many times, many times. And that's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a fact. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you broken or bad unless you make it mean that. A fixed mindset does that, but that's your choice. You can also choose to learn, to grow, and to move forward stronger. And a growth mindset does that. I want to share a story with you. So I once coached a client named Tina. She was an aspiring entrepreneur, and she was faced with repeated rejections from investors, like on cycle repeat. And so with every rejection, her resolve was tested, and she felt like giving up constantly, feeling like she just wasn't cut out for success, almost like each rejection was telling her this is not what she should be doing. And she was stuck in that fixed mindset, seeing that rejection almost as a personal failure. Have you been there? Maybe not with rejection, but maybe with skills, maybe with a relationship or many relationships, maybe with a hobby or a sport. What did you do when that happened? Did you allow those fails to build up and become evidence that you can't? Or did you allow them to fuel you, to motivate you, to teach you? Did you allow yourself to move forward? Or did you give yourself permission to give up because of all of this mounting evidence of failure? So going back to Tina, I worked with her and we worked on shifting her perspective, focusing on what she could learn from each experience. And she started asking for feedback and started refining her pitch and started studying successful entrepreneurs in her field. She embraced the idea that her journey was about growth, not proving her worth. I'm going to say that again. She embraced the idea that her journey was about growth, not about her personal worth. And guess what? Eventually, she got the investment that she needed after many rejections. But more importantly, she developed this resilience and a belief in her ability to overcome challenges. And that is a beautiful result from overcoming obstacles. You aren't just achieving that goal, right? You're building up evidence for yourself that you are capable, you are strong, and you are resilient. And that you can apply to anything in your life. So, how do we cultivate this growth mindset? I'm going to give you just a few things you can do. Number one, recognize that effort is a path to mastery. So, embracing those challenges as opportunities to develop, not as a reason to stop. Nothing in life that is worth having comes easy. Challenges are just part of that gig, right? We all know that. We're built for those challenges, though. We're gifted with an incredibly powerful brain that allows us to adapt and learn and grow. Face those challenges head on with your motivation, with excitement, leaving the fear of failure far, far behind you. You need to recognize that effort is on the path to mastery. Second, learn from criticism. This is really hard for a lot of people. Feedback truly is a gift that can help you improve. And it's so easy to take criticism personally and to allow it to define you, who you are, how you are, what you do. But what if you didn't? What if instead you just took it as information to improve? What if you considered each piece of feedback and determined whether it was accurate, whether it carried weight, whether it was worth putting in the effort to improve it? And you have to do that without pride and without embarrassment, just an honest look at the feedback and yourself or your efforts. Feedback is a gift that we can use to continue to get better, to grow, and use as a stepping stone to reach our loftiest of goals. I love feedback. Next, become familiar with who you are and who you want to be. What do you want to be defined as? What do you think is important about who you are? And by you, not by other people. What do you want to be defined as? What's important to you? What are your priorities? What are you capable of? Become very aware of that person that you are now and that person that you want to be. And then defend yourself against you. I said that right. Defend yourself against you, because you're going to have negative self-talk, but stay true to who you know you are, and don't allow that scared, hurt, stuck self to convince you otherwise. This could be a constant dissonant battle in your mind, and it is worth fighting every single time. That will be the biggest battle you face. Finally, find lessons and inspiration in the stories of people that are already successful. So use their journeys as a map for your own growth. There are so many amazing people out there that have done incredible things, and so many people that show us truly what is possible. Fill your mind and your heart with those stories. Understand what they have already learned. Take those lessons from them. Understand what they have overcome on their journey to success, because one day you'll be that inspiration to someone else. You'll have a story to tell that will be riddled with all of your resilience and impressive willingness to push through and keep moving forward, even in the most ridiculous of times. So take that inspiration from others. You put that in your soil to help you grow. I love this quote from Albert Einstein. He said, "It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer." I love that because it emphasizes the importance of persistence and resilience, key components of that growth mindset in overcoming challenges and finding solutions. It suggests that success and intelligence are not merely about innate talent, but about the continued effort and determination to work through difficulties, to continue to grow. And my friend, you are more than capable of staying with your problems longer, finding those solutions that you are so very capable of finding. Those problems could be personal, they could be relational, they could be professional, but purposefully choose to have a growth mindset that allows you to face those challenges and find the solutions so that you can live with the results that you love. I'm sure that you can tell that I'm super passionate about all of this. I really believe that our mindset is the foundation upon which we build and filter life. And if we don't have a solid foundation, we're never going to have and be able to build a life that we love. So if you think that you have a fixed mindset and you want help making that switch, or you just have questions and you want to chat it out, please reach out. Let's chat. No scheduling link, no official meeting. Let's just talk. You can find my phone number to text or to call, or you can email me at tantalumcoaching.com. Reach out. Let's chat. I would love to have a conversation with you. In closing, remember that adopting a growth mindset is a journey in and of itself. It requires persistence and practice and patience, but the rewards are incredible because it not only fosters resilience, but it's going to completely transform the very nature of challenges that you face. And it's going to make you stronger and wiser and far more capable of navigating the complexities of life. I really hope, my friend, that today's episode has inspired you to reflect on your own mindset and to embrace that power of growth. Remember that resilience is not just about bouncing back. It's about growing through our experiences. And that's exactly what having a growth mindset allows you to do. So thank you for joining me on Becoming Tantalum. And if today's message resonated with you, please share it with someone else who needs to hear it. You can like it, leave a review. Together, let's continue our journey of transformation and resilience. And until next time, keep growing, keep striving, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. I will see you next week. We're going to explore embracing failure, looking at lessons learned on the path to success. Let's keep building our resilience, my friend. You've got this. Thank you for joining me today. If you want to take all of these concepts and tools to a deeper level, apply them to your life, and watch the transformation happen, I would love for you to join the Tantalum Tribe. That's a monthly membership where all of our community has access to live coaching, self-paced courses, guest coaches, podcast study guides, anonymous question boards, and more. You too can transform your life using the tools and strategies that we have with accountability built in from our community. I really hope that you join us at tantalumcoaching.com. That's TANTALUM coaching.com. Just click join the tribe. I can't wait to see you in there.
An ironic media production. Visit us at ironickmedia.com.